Hello, my most amazing artist. I hope you have had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful winter holiday break. I have definitely missed you guys and I've missed seeing your amazing artwork. This week, we're going to pick up where we left off before Christmas break with our op art weaving. And this is our last week to work on this weaving. Last time, we just made the checkerboard pattern using strips of paper. And we're going to continue weaving this week. We're just going to make it look a little bit more interesting instead of just a plain old checkerboard. I mean, it's still going to be a checkerboard, but there's going to be more colors in there, which I think will make it a lot more interesting. All right, so your goals for this week are to continue weaving. And you also need to be able to explain what the warp and the weft are on a loom. And after looking at your answers for our last end of art activity, wherein I was asking you about the loom and the warp and the weft, we kind of got a mixture of answers, and I wanted to go over that again just to make sure that you guys understood what a warp is on a loom, what the weft is, what is the loom in the first place, okay? So, as you can see, I can see what you guys put. All right, so if you just click on answers randomly, it's not really helping you out at all, and I can see how many people said which answer, okay? So the first one, I'm a little bit disappointed with this one because it says, in a weaving, what holds the warp pieces together? The warp are the strings that go straight up and down, and those strings, or those pieces, the warp pieces, are being held together by the loom, okay? Only 25% of us got that right. Only 9 people got that right, okay? The warp pieces are held together by the loom, all right? And the way I worded these questions, they just kind of go together. So you start here, the loom holds the warp pieces together, and down here it says in a weaving, what holds the weft pieces together? The weft are the pieces that go over and under. That's actually the next question. Which pieces create the over and under pattern? That's the weft. So the pieces that are going over and under are being held together by the warp. And you guys did pretty good answering that one. Okay, so we had 61% of us got that right. The weft pieces are held together by the warp, and remember, the warp pieces are being held together by the loom. So it always starts with the loom. Without the loom, you aren't able to have the weft or the warp. Okay, loom holds the warp holds the weft, and I've already given you this answer. Which pieces create the over and under pattern? That is the weft. So only 36% of us got that correct. Okay, so guys, please make sure you're reading these questions all the way through before you click the answer, okay? Because I do go back and I see what you put. And when I see these kinds of percentages, it kind of makes me wonder if you guys are actually watching the videos all the way through, or if while you're answering this, you can always go back to the video and find the answers. So I might start actually quizzing you guys on this stuff to where it's a grade, just to make sure that you are watching the video. I know some of us definitely are watching the video, and thank you so much to those who do, because guys, I put a lot of work into these videos, and I want to make sure that you guys are watching them so that you're learning and absorbing all of this awesome information so that you are ready for middle school, okay? I know it's a little difficult to do art online, but those of us who are doing it, you're doing a great job, and all you have to do is try, guys. All right, just watch the video, try your best to complete the activity I assign you, and do your end of art activity, and that's pretty much it. And if you don't know the answer to a question on our end of art activity, then you can always go back to this video right here that you're watching, and I'll probably give you the answer. Okay? As long as you try your best, you will succeed, my friends. Okay? So like I said, your other goal is you need to be able to explain what the warp and the weft are on a loom. Okay, we'll go over that. Just as a reminder, we are creating a paper weaving. Remember, weaving can be made out of almost anything. It could be made out of elastic bags, it could be made out of plastic spoons, paper, tissue, anything really. But it's traditionally made out of thread or yarn, and this wooden contraption is called the loom. Does anyone remember what the loom holds together? The loom holds the warp pieces together. Those are the strings that go up and down. You see up here, there's like nails that these up and down strings are wrapping around and coming down and wrapping. So the warp is being held together by the loom. All right. And these strings that are going from side to side, those are called the weft strings. Those are the strings that create this beautiful pattern. They go over and under and over and under, back and forth until you get all the way to the top. So, does anyone know what holds the weft pieces together? We know the loom holds the warp pieces together. What holds the weft pieces together? The warp. Okay, these strings that go up and down, they are holding our weft strings all together. You see? Without the warp, the weft would just fall onto itself. It needs the warp to stay in place. Okay, hopefully you guys understand that. And if you don't understand it, please let me know so that I can help you. Okay, I would love to answer any questions that you have. All right, now let's go ahead and get started on our activity today. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, we went ahead and we wove, that's the past tense verb of weave, we wove into our Op Art loom, okay? And we used just black pieces of paper. If you had that, you could use whatever color you have. All right, but I'm done with these black pieces, and the strips of paper that we were weaving into our loom, these are the weft pieces. They were the ones who were going over and under our warp pieces, which were these vertical pieces that we cut into our loom a few weeks ago. All right, today, to make our weaving a little bit more interesting, I just have a bunch of different colors cut at a bunch of different sizes. You want some to be really skinny, like this one's really skinny. You don't want any to be super thick though, okay? We want our black pieces, or the pieces we started with, to be the bigger pieces, and then we're just gonna have some smaller, skinnier ones that go on top of it. And with these skinnier pieces, we are going to do the same over and under pattern that these weft pieces did. And with this, you can get really experimental, okay? Because now, not only are we able to go from side to side, we can actually go from bottom to top. And let me show you how to do that. So I can just weave. You see how I'm starting down here? I can weave into those weft pieces that I already made. You see that? So I went under this weft piece, and I'm going to pull up my third weft piece. We're still going over and under. So I am literally just going under these black strips or these weft pieces that we wove last time. All right, we're always going to go under them so that this piece of paper is held in place. You're going to pull it all the way through so that these edges are meeting with each other. Okay, you see that makes it look a lot more interesting already. And you can do a bunch in the same row if you want to. You can do it however you want to. This is where you get to add a lot of creativity to your weaving, using a bunch of different colors and different sizes of weft pieces, the pieces that go over and under. Okay, it takes a little bit to work it through because we glued these weft pieces, these black strips down last time so they didn't move around. So you're just going to have to be super careful while doing this part today. Okay. And as you can see, it's already looking a lot more interesting than just black and our painting, okay? We're really bringing this weaving to life. And I'm just going to do this randomly, however I feel in the moment. Just taking these tinier, skinnier weft pieces and weaving them into my weaving. Okay? So we see how we can go straight up and down. Just putting our new pieces under these black strips. You can also go from side to side. Okay? And for this one, if you go from side to side, you're just going to follow the same path that you followed the first time whenever you wove this black piece of paper. All right, so this skinny green strip is going to do the same exact thing. It's going to go over and under and over and under. All right, and we did glue these edges down, so you might not be able to push it all the way through, and that's totally fine. If you have any pieces hanging over the edge, you can leave them there. It kind of looks interesting, to be honest with you, or you can take scissors and trim it off. Okay, so let me show you that one more time. If you want to go from side to side again, you're just going to start the same way that your black weft piece started and weave in. You might have some tails on the edges, but that is totally fine. All right, let's see what else I can do. I think I'll do this. And by doing this, it really just creates a way more interesting weaving. It adds color, which is one of our elements of art. You see how much more interesting this is already beginning to look? All right, and you notice I did 2 in the same row here. You can do that if you want to as well. All right, so I'm just going to continue weaving in these skinny, colorful strips of paper, and I will be back to show you what mine looks like. As I've been weaving, I just noticed with this piece, I was trying to weave it from left to right, but it was getting stuck on this one and I couldn't push it through or pull it through. So if that happens, you can just try to come from the opposite side and see if that works better for you, because I was like, you know what, let me try coming from the other side, do a little bit of problem solving, and when I came from the other side, it worked. So just play around with it. If one piece doesn't want to go in, try coming from the other direction. All right, so I just finished weaving in all of my little pieces of paper. I still have some left over, but I'm pretty happy with how this looks so far. I think it looks really cool. And I just was layering, going in different directions, putting little strips on top of one another to see what I could do. So this part of your project is really about experimenting and seeing what you can come up with using your weaving technique of going over and under. And just like last time, the last step is to take some glue. You could use whatever glue you have at home, or you could use tape if you don't have glue at all. And we're just going to glue down these loose edges. You really want to do it for these because since these strips are looser, they're going to want to move around a lot, and we do not want them to move around. So let's just put some glue down, trying to be neat. And I'm just putting a little bit of glue down and holding it down in place so that I know those edges are going to stay. Okay, and I'm going to do this all the way around, just gluing down these small edges so that I know they will stay put. And I'll be right back to show you what it should look like. All right, after you get done weaving all of your little pieces in together using our over and under pattern, and you finish gluing down all those loose tails on the edge, you are done, my friends. And like I said earlier, if you don't like these tails hanging off the edge, then you can just trim them off if you want to. But to be honest, I think it kind of adds a little bit of an interesting touch to our weaving. So I think I'm going to leave mine on there, but you're welcome to trim yours if you want to. All right, guys, so I hope you had a lot of fun during this project. This was the last step for our project, so we are done with it after this week. I hope you guys have learned a lot about weaving and different important vocabulary words to know in the art world. I cannot wait to see how your op art weavings have turned out. I know they're going to be amazing because you guys are amazing. All right, I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your week, and I will see you next time when we are starting a brand new project. All right, bye, guys.